The thing about the King Airs, man, is that like when I would talk to other pilots about flying them, I'd say, look, like flying a King Air is like getting back with a girl that cheated on you. You know, like you're happy to be back together, but you never trust that broad. You know.
That's great, dude. That's hilarious.
Well, you gotta watch the critical engine, man, you know? And so it's like if you just go out and look at the airplane, like look at like a Caravan or an Otter, you have a big rectangular slow flying wing. You look at a King Air, it's a very short, stubby, sleek, fast flying wing, right? So think about this, man. And again, this is what I would tell other pilots. It's like I would tell them don't fly the numbers on this airplane. And what I meant by that is like, look, in a 90, generally speaking, your rotation speed's about 92, 93 knots, right? So I always plan for like the worst case scenario, which is like I rotate off the runway, I'm just about to suck the gear up, and I have a critical engine failure. At that point, those airplanes, I mean, the King Airs, you will get no pre-stall buffet. You'll get no stall warning. They'll just snap, roll, and cartwheel on you. But they'll literally they'll drop a wing and the tail will come over on you, and you'll be upside down looking backwards in your seat, you know, looking at the horizon upside down before you crash. So my remedy to that, like when I first started flying them, was push down on the yoke coming down the runway and let the airplane know when I'm ready to get off the ground, you know, which is usually about 110 knots. Pull it up into ground effect, tactical departure, suck the gear up. I very rarely use flaps in King Air, so you just don't need them. Put it in ground effect. At the end of a 3,100-foot runway, I'd be doing about 150, 160, just trim it up and it, you know. But that was always my hedge against a critical engine failure. And 3 critical engine failures, I've never had one below 1,000 feet. Always coming off the runway. Always coming off the runway, like right at the V1 cut. So, you know, and that's probably why I'm alive to tell the story.
That's kind of crazy to think about, huh? Is in that kind of area in the industry, you got to always be prepared for those different things happening, and it's not so simple as other engine failures. That sounds, I could totally understand what you're saying. Like you don't have time to react. Where our airplanes, Scott, how much pounds of thrust does a 320 neo or a 320 neo produce?
It's 35,000 pounds per
All right,
engine,
35,000 pounds. Yeah,
70,000 total, something like that.
yeah, 70,000 pounds of thrust, where, we could fly in the worst conditions possible out of Reno, Nevada, in the hottest of summer days, and we could still go and take off with 180 people or whatever.
Right.
But even a King Air, for example, like the airplane is not necessarily built for those one in a billion time things happening. And it's like, there's so many different aspects that can happen to you flying
Right.
that kind of airplane. And so, if you don't know what you're doing now, like you said, you probably wouldn't be here alive today to tell the story.
Yeah, yeah.
But it
This
forces you
is
to train and to know better.
Right. Right. And another thing I would tell pilots, like I would ask them, like, hey, you know, I would paint this scenario, you know, like the few times I have trained guys in King Airs or just having conversations with them. It's like, here's your scenario, man. You just got off the runway, you're sucking the gear up, and you know, you lose an engine. What do you do? Oh, okay. Opposite rudder, trim to the heavy foot, identify, verify. Okay. What is that called? That's an engine out procedure. It's like, no, it's an engine securing, feathering procedure.
Yeah.
Don't do that. And I say, okay, let's back up for a second. And again, what I'm getting at here is that like they're not difficult airplanes to fly. It's just about going back to that pilot aviator thing. It's like it's just
Yeah.
about your mindset, right? So I would walk the guys out to the airplane, you know, when it shut down. I say, look at your propellers right now. Okay. What angle are they at? Well, they're feathered. So your propeller blades are at 90-degree angles right now, correct? Yeah. Why? Well, because the engine's off. Okay. So let's go back to the scenario. You're a couple 100 feet off the runway, the gear's coming up, you lose an engine. Is that stressful scenario or not a stressful scenario? No, it's very stressful. Okay, if you go into this identify, verify, blah, 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 you're increasing your workload when your anxiety, your stress and anxiety level is already up. If that engine shuts down, what are those propeller blades going to do? They're not going to completely feather, but they'll go about 75, 80%, and the airplane will still fly. So it's like, just leave it. Leave it opposite rudder, trim to the heavy foot, push the nose down, clean the aircraft up, and get as much speed up as you can. Take a couple breaths, get your wits about you, and then figure out what your next move is. Okay, I got to get on the, you know, crosswind to downwind. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Get on the
Yeah.
Fly your
downwind.
pattern.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. You know, drop the gear, and then so. But again, it's a mentality, you know. It's like, oh, and we've seen this in aviation. There's like several times actually. What was that incident in China? Was it a Dash 8 Q400? They got off the runway, lost an engine. They went into their, you know, identify, verify, and cut the other good engine. You've
Oh
seen that one,
yeah,
haven't you?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was caught from a dash cam from a
Hmm.
car, man. I mean, you see the thing, they cut the other engine and the thing's just clips the bridge and everybody's dead. So, but
It
anyways,
can
man.
happen quick, like you said. It's like when those high stress environments, you know, in the airlines, we whenever we shut down an engine, you're confirming with the other guy, being like, "Hey, are we about to shut down the only good engine we have?" Because you're not. I'm not going to say you're not thinking like properly, but it's probably one of the most stressful moments of your life. Just in our career with everything, you are literally in a life or death scenario right now. And so you're asking the other person, hey, are we making the right decision right now, to double check and trust and verify all those different things so that does not occur. But in those cases, you're single pilot, right? In
Yeah,
that case, so you definitely have to have like those measures on yourself where if you think it's like you said, if you're going to be way too task saturated, yeah, just focus on flying the airplane, right? Aviate,
exactly.
navigate, communicate, and the end
Yeah.
of the day.
Yeah, like what I would tell again, like as part of this conversation, I would have with like newer King Air pilots. I'd say, hey, what's the procedure? Okay, identify, verify. No, 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 it's NSFFA. I say, what is that? It's never stop flying the effing airplane.
That's right.
That's it. It's not aviate, navigate, communicate. It's like no NSFFA, man. Fly it all the way to the crash site. You
Right.
know?
That's right.
And again, it's just a certain mentality, man, of having to understand. It's like you're the only one in the cockpit, man. That's it. The people behind you, yeah, they might be crazy skydivers, but that's the number five thing they are. You know, the first thing they are is somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's husband, somebody's wife, you know, or somebody's father, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So again, man, sorry, I hate to keep repeating myself, but it goes back to that like pilot versus professional aviator.